Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, kindly chat. Let me see you in the comment section. Hi, Mr. Fish Expert. Yeah, good to see you. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, say yes, I can hear. If you can hear me, say yes, I can hear. So I'm sure that you can hear me. So we had a little glitch with the setup. If you can hear me, I'm seeing your chat. Just say yes, I can hear. Oh, great. Amazing. Good to have you so I can see your chat here. Okay, great. Yes, today we are going straight into business. I'll just do a brief introduction. My name is Taiwo James Isaac. I am your fish expert. All right. And today we'll be diving straight into the um how to make profit in fish farming, and this is a Q&A section, question and answer. We will be dealing with very important things, trust me, very important things. And because in fish farming there are two ways to it, there are two sides rather. There is the side of the science of fish farming. It means that what are the things people need to do to raise fish well. You mean you raise the fish and it grows well. But the other part of it is that while you raise it well, you make profit. It is possible to raise it well and not make profit. So everything we'll be doing today is centered about profitability in fish farming, and I'll be taking your questions. And I want your questions to come in real time, and they should be very practical questions. For instance, not just my fish are dying. It could be like my fish are dying and I noticed these signs. This is their age and things like that. We just want to be very specific. We want to deal with very practical things. If you are joining us, if you are just joining us, I want to welcome you to this fish farming live support. Where we are dealing straight with practical issues. But I want you to know that what you'll be taking out from here today are very highly valuable information, and I would not want you to joke with them. If you are just joining us, I'm seeing more viewers. Please engage in the chat. So let's know you are here. Engage in the chat. Yes, good to see you, Josiah. Good to see you, Junior Disable. Also, tell us in the comments where you are um, joining us from. So tell us your location, tell us your farm size. If you have a farm, I'm aware not everyone here. Some people are investors who are looking to invest. Some people are beginners who are looking to practice. But tell us your location, tell us your farm size or the number of your ponds, and then we pick it from there. We get it going so that we go quickly into the question and answer session. So get your questions prepared, all right? Get your questions prepared. So I want to begin by just giving us before your questions, I believe you are preparing your questions now and your questions will be coming. So I want to quickly dive into something that is common with every fish farm. Or let me say most fish farm. Or at one time or the other, a fish farmer, a practicing fish farmer would have noticed this. And what is this thing? It is that you notice that you are feeding your fish, but they are not growing. You notice your fish, but they are not growing. You notice your fish, but they are not growing. Or you notice that their growth is slow. This is one thing that is very common to many fish farmers. And quickly, I want to deal with this so that we go into the question and answer session. If you have your questions, let them start coming in. Let them start coming in, because what I'm going to say is just so very brief. And what we are going to dive in today is about the questions and answer, and they will be practical things. And I want you to know that what you'll be taking out of here today are knowledge. Because, hey, let me quickly say this. Can I say this to you? Can I go deeper? If you want me to say it, let me see you in the comment section. Let's see the comments. Let me know if you want me to go deeper. Do you want me to go deeper? Yes. So, in life, in this life, things happens to principle. For instance, there is the law of gravitational force. If I throw something up, it comes down. Yes, go deeper. Someone says go deeper, Papa. That's nice. Yes, if I throw something up, it comes down because it's a law. There is a law governing it. It's the law of gravity. There is also laws in life, and this is more truer in fish farming. If we don't follow the right principles, we will not get the right results for profits. So, but the moment we start applying the right knowledge, we'll begin to get the right results. And what is the right result we're talking about? We're talking about good profits. But is it possible to begin to apply those principles without knowing them? No. Yes, I see your chance. Josiah Bidinga says, sure, that is it. But we can't apply those principles if we don't know them. That's why I'm going to show you some very deep secrets today. Very deep things that if you understand this, no longer will you be having issues with slow growth. Because in fish farming, when your fish is growing slowly, is a big issue. For instance, there are two farmers. This person achieved a desired weight, let's say 1 kg, in 4 months. Another farmer achieved 4 kg in 7 months, and that's 1 kg in 7 months. This other person wasted 3 months that they can use to start the cycle again. If you can imagine how much money they would have lost, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. So if people know the things to do right, they will get the right result. So concentrating on slow growth. Why do fish farmers? Because it's common among most farmers. And this is a very important thing that if we can get it right, these are the things that will make us start having profit in our farming businesses. Yes. So what is the first thing that usually cause fish farmers to experience slow growth? Let me tell you, the first thing is not giving enough feed. And I'm going to explain this in details. Many people misunderstand feeding with something I call giving. They are giving fish feed, but they think they are feeding fish. So these are two different things entirely. If you are giving fish feed, you are giving them, they are feeding it. But a farmer who is feeding fish is concerned about the quantity he's giving them. You see, so giving feed is different from feeding feed. If you get what I'm saying, I want to see something. I want to see your comments in the chat. Really, if you understand the difference between giving feed and feeding the fish, you will understand the difference. This is the basis. This is one of the bases to make profit in fish farming. And what do I mean by giving feed and feeding feed? What is the difference? The difference is that one is giving them feed. The other person is feeding them and is about quantity. Somebody type quantity. Can you type quantity? It's about quantity. Now, a person who is giving feed may not give them enough feed. What I'm talking about is underfeeding. There are three critical points when we talk about feeding fish. Yes, quantity. There are three things when we talk about feeding fish. The first one is underfeeding. Underfeeding means that the quantity that this fish needs, you are not giving them up to that quantity. That is the first thing. You are not giving them up to that quantity. If you can understand the right quantity for your feed, which I'm going to explain in the next statement, then you are set for profitability. Then what is the first? How to manage this is just about watching your fish. See, observation is key in fish farming. Any feed you are giving your fish, because some people, they give their fish feed and then the fish rush it and then they stop. They think the fish are satiated. If you don't feed them to satiation, as time goes by, the time they need to spend in your farm to grow to the desired stage will be extended. And when that time is extended, they spend more time, you spend more money, you waste more time. This is the secret. If you are getting what I'm saying, say I got it. Say I got it if you get what I'm saying. That's the secret. So it means that you want to make sure that you don't prolong that rearing period. Because if you can attain your desired weight or your desired size quickly, what it means is that you will make more profit. The farmer that achieved that desired size later in the production cycle will make less profits. So if you can get this one right, and how do you get it? When you are feeding, this is the key, listen to this. When you are feeding your fish, feed them according to their response. You feed them according to their response, because their appetite will reduce as they are getting satiated. So if your feed, what it means is that if your fish is still taking feed from you, don't stop feeding them. This is the key right here. If your fish are still taking feed from you, don't stop feeding them. Keep feeding. That's the first one, underfeeding. I don't want to talk about overfeeding here right now, because this underfeeding is one of the underground things that many farmers don't see. Many farmers don't even want to underfeed because they don't want to waste feed, because they are buying that feed. But underfeeding is a serious issue, because many farmers are committing this sin and they don't know. If they knew, they wouldn't have committed it. So the biggest key point you can take from this point I'm giving you is to observe your fish while you are feeding them, and you feed them with respect to how they are taking the feed from you. We call it feeding frenzy. It means how eager are they to take that feed from you. That is how you feed them. It is with respect to that you feed them. If you see that it is slow, if you see that your feed are taking it slowly from you, they are taking the feed slowly. If they are taking it slowly, that's the time to stop. Really, that is a time to stop feeding. But if they are taking it more, it means you need to give them more. Now, if they are taking it slowly, it means you need to reduce the rate at which you give them. If they are taking it faster, you need to give them more. So you give them the feed according to their response. If you get what I'm saying, say I got it. Say I got it. Say I got it. If you get what I'm saying, say I got it. If you got what I'm saying, say I got it. Say I got it. I got it. So we can move forward. Meanwhile, your questions can keep coming right now. Your questions can keep coming. Let your questions keep coming. Yeah, let your questions keep coming. Let your questions keep coming. So this is a live support system. This is a Q&A. I'm waiting for um, questions in the chat. My eyes are glued to the chat. I'm waiting for questions. Let's have your questions, because this will be, we want to be very practical. We want to be very practical today. If you are just joining us, I want you to know that we are solving real life and practical real farm solutions. And we have talked about one of the major things that cause slow growth in fish farming. And what we talked about is underfeeding. So while questions are still coming in, I'll be checking questions here, but I'll keep talking about something else. Okay, I've seen a question. What is the most underrated skill a fish farmer needs to become profitable? Wow. I wanted to give another point on why there is slow growth, but I love this question. So I want us to quickly dive into this question. Thank you for that question, Junior. This is, to be honest with you, this is a very significant question and relevant question in fish farming. What's the most underrated skill a fish farmer needs to become profitable? To be honest with you, I've mentioned that skill while I was explaining overfeeding. The greatest skill that is most underrated as a fish farmer is the skill of observation. Can you type it? Observation. Observation is the greatest skill any fish farmer can have. You will hear me saying this multiple times, and I've said it even in this live session. I said observation is key. Observation is key. I keep saying it many times that observation is key. Observation is key. Observation is key. I see Olawonye Kumi. Welcome. If you are just joining us, we are dealing with real life problems on the farm. And one of the first things we tackled with here is the things that slow down growth of fish, because it's common to many fish farmers. You notice, every practical fish farmer must have noticed this at a point in time. You notice that on your farm, there is this uh there is this issue of, you notice that your fish, you are feeding them, but they are not growing again, or the rate at which they are growing is slower than they should. So what is causing this thing? And we highlighted underfeeding as a major cause. There are many causes, but underfeeding is one of the major things that people do not look at and pay attention to. And if you miss that, I believe I will still leave this chart to replay after this session, so that anyone who comes later can go back and listen to it. There are very key and significant things that you want to listen about underfeeding, because everybody knows about underfeeding, but there are things. How can you really solve it forever on your farm? We have mentioned it, and just to reiterate, it is that you must, as you feed your fish, you want to feed them according to their response. That's the key. Now, the first question we have on this live session is that what is the most underrated skill a fish farmer needs to become profitable? I have mentioned it and I will mention it again. That question is from Junior, and is a very amazing question from Junior Disable 4490. This is a very practical question, and I love that question. If any fish farmer must be profitable in their farming business, there is a skill that they must have. It is observation. Observation is key. Why? And I'm going to tell you why observation is key. Because if you have your questions, keep bringing them in, bring them in. I'm going to deal with all questions that come on this live session today. And I said that your questions should not be vague. We want to deal with practical questions. We don't want to say that my fish is not growing. You can say that your fish is not growing, but say that this is their size, this is what you notice, or whatever. Just give us real life problems. Let's deal with it. So if you are just joining us too, let's have you in engagements in the chat. If you have experience about what I'm talking about, you have experienced one or two, let's have it in the comments. Let's engage. Now, talking about observation. Why is observation a skill that every profitable fish farmer needs to have? Of a truth, fish farmers that don't have these skills, they don't make profits. I'm telling you the truth. Fish farmers that don't have the skill of observation, if they have a profit, maybe it's a fluke. You won't see them having profit consecutively every time. Any fish farmer that consecutively makes profit over time, it makes profit this time, it makes profit another time. I'm telling you the truth, that fish farmer has the skill of observation. Now, it is possible that this fish farmer needs to make more profit if they sharpen their observation more. Yes, if they sharpen their observation more. And because of that question, there are some things I'm going to mention in this live that will sharpen your observation. And I have a free gift for everyone in this live session. And from that free gift will help you so much. And trust me, this live session will do so much to you. It will do a lot of good to you. It will do a lot of good to you. I'm seeing another question, but I don't want to rush this because observation, we will deal with every question that comes, even within the shortest period of time. We'll deal with all the questions. But I want to finish with observation because it is the greatest skill that a fish farmer must have. If they must be profitable, though, they must have this skill. Why is everything resting on observation? I'm going to tell you. Because what you see is what you deal with. If you don't see something, you can't deal with it. You first need to see it before you understand it, before you deal with it. So, let me begin to give you the greatest tips of observation. One of the best time to observe your fish is when you feed early in the morning. See, there are rules to observation. If you begin to go and play by those rules, you will become a pro in fish farming. Not only will you become a pro, you will begin to make profits every now and then. Now, the first thing you need to know about observation is that observation should be done every day on the farm. If there is one routine that must be done on the farm, it is observation. But people take it casually. I mean, farmers that don't make profits, if you see any successful farmer, they don't joke with observation. Observation, even before you feed, observation is done, is carried out on your farm. And how do you observe? This is it, I'm going to tell you right now. Pay attention to this secret. If you must observe in your farm, every morning, walk around your fish pond. If it's an earthen pond, walk around it. If it's a tarpaulin pond or a concrete pond, you want to go around and observe. Now, when I say observe, so I'm not just going to be telling you to observe. I'm going to be telling you what to look at. I'm going to be telling you how to look at things and the things you need to pay attention to. So the first thing when you get to your farm, look at your pond water. Is there any changes between what you are seeing and what you left the previous day? Are there mortalities on the surface of the water? Are there some things like bubbles on the surface of the water? Are there some things like foam on the surface of the water? Because all of these things I'm talking about, they have their meaning. And I'm going to tell you what they mean too. What do you notice about the movements of your fish on the surface of your water? What do you notice about the activity of your fish? What do you notice about their swimming pattern of your fish? I mean, If you want me to go deeper on this, just let me know. If not, I can round up quickly, because on this interesting topic, I can keep going on and on, because it's a very important thing that affects profitability in fish farming. Now, what am I talking about? How are your fish swimming in that water? Are they calm? Are they agitated? Are they hanging on the surface of the water? These are deep things you need to pay attention to. If you can pay attention to this, and of course, there are some videos on this channel that I have talked about these things. If you can understand these signs, there are warning signs. But you can't know warning signs if you don't observe. So observation is the center point of everything in fish farming. I want to thank you again for that amazing question. This shows that this person is either a practical farmer or someone who is really interested or engaged in aquaculture. And of course, it means you've been consuming, it means you've been practicing. One of those things is at play. Observation is key. It is the center point, and it is the skill that every fish farmer must have. Because we have more questions coming in, I want to stay out of observation for now, and let's move to another question. If we have enough time, trust me, I'll come back to observation, because I have a lot to say. I mean, I can hold a whole session talking about observation. Why? It's the greatest skill a fish farmer must have. I want you to know, dear farmers listening to me, that if any farm must be profitable, because we are talking about profit here, not just rearing fish, and you see that the fish did not die. We are talking about profitability. If any farm must be profitable, they must they must be observant. An observation must be every day on the farm. You observe early morning, you observe while you feed, you observe after feeding, and you observe before you leave the farm. This that I've just given you, as clear as it is gold. It is gold. If you take it and run with it and operate with it as a routine on your farm, you'll begin to see differences on your farm. So I want to move to the next question now. Someone says, what actually determines profitability most in catfish farming? Feed, survival rate, or market access? Now, this is very practical questions. What actually determines profitability most in catfish farming? Feed, survival rate, or market access? Now, this is about catfish farming. So this question is specific about catfish farming, and we'll be diving into it. Not only is it specific into catfish farming, we are looking at the things that determine profitability. So what we are saying here is that we want to make profit. We know that there are things that make the fish grow well, but this is another one. There are other things that possibly make the fish grow well, but we want to make profit. What are the things that determine it most? This what makes this question interesting, because the person say most. Is it feed survival? Is it feed? Is it survival rate? Is it market access? Trust me, we'll be dealing with this. And if you are getting value from this session, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to subscribe to this channel. If possible, I want you to share this to other farmers. By hitting the like button, this platform will recommend this video to other farmers like you who need this valuable information. All right. And I want you to know that regardless of what you do, maybe you are a farmer, or whether you are a beginner, or whether you are an investor, or whether you are a student, everyone will get things valuable. I believe you are getting valuable things already from this session. If that's true, let me see your likes. Let me see your subscribes. If that is true, let me see your comments. Let's hear in the comment section the things you are learning already, the things you are learning. Yes, so back into to that question, what actually determines profitability? So this person asking these questions already knows that feed determines profitability. They already know that survival rate determines profitability. They already know that market access determines profitability. What they're asking is that which one determines it most? That's what makes this question interesting. So the first thing I want to establish here is that while there are very, very important things in fish farming, I'll tell you many important things, and I'll mention one. I'll tell you many important things. Why there are many important things in fish farming, we don't put down one truth to lift up another truth. There are many factors that work hand in hand. Meanwhile, having said that, I want to tell you one of the most significant things in fish farming, and this is good quality water. If you just heard what I said, I want you to type it. I don't want to call it water. I would have said just type water, but it's not just about water, it's about quality water. So can you type? Can you type in the comments quality water? Type quality water. Quality water. So I want to talk about, because of this question, this is a very highly significant thing. Why? Hey, you see, a lot of people pay attention to the feed in fish farming. Many people pay attention to feed, but you need to know that we feed fish, but fish does not grow in feed. Do you get what I'm saying? Fish need feed to grow, but fish does not grow in feed. Fish grow in water. I hope you are getting me. That person that has that just asked that question. See, if you understand this, if you understand what I'm about to show you, you will begin to pay attention to the quality of your water. This is one of the most significant things to pay attention to in fish farming. Yes, I'm seeing your comments coming. I'm seeing your comments coming. Yes, I get that you are receiving value, and that's amazing. But work with me. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. What do I mean? The reason why I'm emphasizing on this, and that when every fish farmer understands this, their profit begins to skyrocket. When they understand, not only understand, and begin to apply it, their profit will begin to skyrocket. Now, remember I began from saying that we feed fish, but fish does not grow in feed. Fish grow in water. If you have listened to me a number of times, you would have heard me mention a saying that is common in the world of aquaculture. That saying is, no water, no fish. Good to see you. I'm seeing Bolus Chaka saying hi. If you are just joining us, we are giving value right here, and we are talking about real-time fish farm problems. If you have your questions, I believe you have, keep your questions coming in. We have talked about first the things that slow down fish growth in fish, and one of the things we highlighted about that is giving feed or feeding fish. There is a dimension where farmers give feed to their fish, and there is another dimension where farmers feed the fish. The farmers that feed fish, they are the ones that understand quantity. They understand the right quantity, and what they do most about this is that they feed according to response. They feed their fish according to response. Another thing we are talking about here, when someone asks questions about the greatest skill that a fish farmer needs to have if they need to make profit, that skill, I said, is observation. There are a lot of things I mentioned about observation that I may not want to go into now because we have another question we're dealing with. So if you I believe after this session, I'm not going to take this video down. I'm not going to take this session down so that you can go back to them and learn and hear all of these things. Believe me, they're going to change your career for life. They're going to change your trajectory, your business, and give you more clarity in the business and in the world of aquaculture. Yeah, we are talking currently about the factor that actually determines profitability most in catfish farming. And I began by saying that in fish farming, we don't take down one truth to lift up another truth. There are many factors that needs to go, that even though this factor is working, we still need to perfect these other factors if we really need to make profit consecutively. Honestly, you will see that what we are dealing with here is not a profit that is a fluke that somebody made by mistake. We are talking about profit that someone make, and they make it every time. You don't just make profit one time. If you are just joining us, let's know, engage in the comments. Let's know your location. Let's know where you are joining us from. Let's know where you are joining us from. Let's know where you are joining us from, and bring your emojis and bring your questions. Now, I began talking about water quality, and I said this is one of the most highly significant things to pay attention to in fish farming. If you must, if you must have profit, yes, feed is important. We feed fish. I said we feed fish, but we do not feed fish in fish. We feed fish in water. I love that rhymes. We don't feed fish in feed, we feed fish in water. That makes us to pay more attention to water. It means that if anything goes wrong with the water, everything will go wrong with the fish. In fact, everything will go wrong with the feed if anything goes wrong with the water. Yeah, they say it's a common saying in fish farming that no water, no fish. I have changed the narrative. No, I didn't change it. I modified it. And this is how I say it. I say, no good quality water, no good quality fish. A water that is not of good quality will not produce good quality fish. And that is when you can get good profit. So can we skip it and skip the graph to say that no good quality water, no good profit in fish farming? Because that is the thing that holds everything together. Feed is important, like I say. This survival rate is affected by your water quality. Yes. You see, the reason you want to manage feed is because you want to maintain good water quality. You see, this question is coming from somebody that has really really considered feed, survival rate, or market access. Because the person says, I'm reading the question from the chart again, what actually determines profitability most in catfish farming? Feed, survival rate, or market access? Market access is important because that's where we make the profit. But if we don't produce the fish in the water in the first place, it won't grow to the point where we want. Even if you have market access, but you produce a fish that took you so much longer time than necessary to produce because you had water issues, you already will not make profit. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are getting what I'm saying, let me see in the chat. Let me see in the chat. If you're getting what I'm saying, let me see in the chat. Let me see in the chat. Yes. So this makes water quality a very interesting, very interesting in fish farming. It is very, very highly significant. All right. And this is a practical session, and in some other sessions, we're having on-farm live sessions. Thank you. I saw someone. Yeah, I saw you say, I got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, sir. You are welcome. This is where we are dealing with real life issues. This is where we are dealing with real on-farm problems. on-farm problem. Yes, someone says, yes, sir. Yes, I need you to know that we'll be dealing with real on-farm problems, and these things you'll be getting from here, trust me, it will change. They will change how you begin to see things. They will, if the moment you begin to apply them, see, it's one thing for you to know, it's another thing for you to apply. So what I'm talking about is not just that you know these things. Beyond hearing these things and understanding them, you must put them into practice. It is when you apply them that it will give you the results. So I'm saying that I mentioned earlier that there is a principle in life, and that the principle is very true in fish farming, that it is the knowledge you put to practice that give you results. What I mean by that is that if there are certain results you are not seeing on your farm, it's because there is a knowledge you don't yet understand. There is a knowledge you don't yet know. The moment you understand that knowledge, it does not mean you will begin to get profits. When will you begin to get profits? The moment you begin to apply those knowledge. That's why I'm saying the answer to principle. The moment you begin to apply these things I'm telling you, because I'm not just telling you just by maybe I speculate. We are not saying these things from speculations. No, 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 no. These are things that has been placed on research, not just on theory, on practical, like I mentioned in some of our sessions. And this session, this is not the only session we'll be having. We'll be having on-farm session where we'll be, dealing with things as I'm talking. You will not just be seeing my face alone, you'll be seeing real life fish on the farm. These are things that we'll be doing, and we want to be just more real. We don't just want to talk. We want to do the practical. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that you know that this is not what we are saying by speculations. No. No, by the grace of God, we are saying this by wisdom and by experience. All right. So I want to believe that if you put all of this into practice, beyond knowing and understanding them, if you put them into practice, you will begin to see the results. Why? Things of this kingdom, the answer to laws and principles. Yes, and these are the principles. These are the keys. Just like if you throw something up, the law of gravity says it will come down. If you apply these things in fish farming, you will see the results. So I saw someone says no good quality water, no profitability in fish farming. Yeah, that's just it. You got that point. You got the point. Yes. If you are just joining us, we are talking about real farm problems. If you are getting value from this, I'd like you to hit the like button. I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. I'd like you to share this video so others like you, other farmer like you, who needs this kind of important information can get it. We need to grow together, really. So let's grow together. Yeah, so if you're getting value from this, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. You have to subscribe. Okay. Yeah. Keep your questions coming in. Keep your questions coming in. Like I mentioned, whatever you are taking out of these things, I won't be missing word, really. I won't be missing word. While I'm waiting for any other questions to come in, if I miss any question, please refer back to me, because I noticed there are questions coming in, so I might have missed one or two in the process. So but I want to talk about one other thing that causes slow growth. So what I'm saying is that I'm painting that scenario again, that most farmer would have observed on their farm. This fish, I'm feeding this fish every day, but this fish is not growing like like it should. Can I get a witness? If you have noticed something like this, can you just say in the comments? Let me see your emoji. Engage in the chat. Let me see. You have noticed that you are feeding the fish, but it's not growing like it should. One of the things I mentioned earlier, underfeeding. The difference between feeding fish and giving feed. They are two different things entirely. And if you are just joining, you will, if you, after this session, you can listen again and you will get that in details. I spoke a lot about it in details. Now, another thing that causes your fish to grow slowly like that, while when you are feeding every day, you are not, you are not seeing them grow as they should, is overcrowding. Overcrowding. Can somebody put in the chat? Overcrowding. Overcrowding. This is a really big issue that, even though it has been mentioned a number of times in fish farming, and some fish farmers say it, that overcrowding is not good, don't overcrowd your fish, don't overstock your fish. Even those people saying it, do you know they overcrowd? And many reasons, one major reason why many farmers overcrowd their fish in their farm is not because they really want to. It is because they don't understand stocking density. And maybe very soon I'm going to do a video about stocking density. Stocking density has nothing, it's not difficult to understand. What stocking density is about is that every pond has what it can carry. The moment you go beyond it, you will not get the desired result you should be getting. It means that you will see your fish, you can even see that your fish are growing and you will be happy. What I'm telling you is that your fish are supposed to grow faster than they are growing. Yes, overcrowding. Your fish are supposed to grow faster than they are growing. I'm seeing your comments here. That's it. Overcrowding, overstocking. If only you did not overcrowd, they would have grown faster than what you are saying, and you would have made more money than what you made in that your last production cycle. This simple thing I'm talking about is the reason many people are not making profits. I don't want to say it's the single reason, but truth be told, for some people, it's the single reason they are not making profit in their farming business. For some people, it's this single factor that connected to other things that does not make them make profits. Because in fish farming, one thing will now connect to the other. And when it is overcrowding, it connects with many things. It connects with your feeding. It connects with their health status. It connects with, because the reason overcrowding is a big issue is that they need space. Fish need space to grow. They need space to grow. And there are a lot of other things associated with overcrowding. Because if you want your fish to feed on themselves, taking catfish for instance, or any fish that has this cannibalistic nature, that maybe they are omnivores or they are carnivore. Omnivores means that they feed on plants and animal. Carnivore means that they feed on flesh. Any animal that feed on flesh is carnivorous. So there are other animals that feed on fish. There are other animals that feed on fish. They are called piscivorous animals. But we are not doing anything really theoretical. We are doing real life and on-farm situations, okay? So what I'm talking about is that if you overcrowd your fish or your pond, it is the fastest way to allow your fish to feed on each other. For instance, in catfish farming, you cannot entirely remove cannibalism. You will see at a point in time that your fish will feed on each other. You will notice it, but it's not an issue, especially if they are just feeding on one or two, not every time. Not every time. You just notice one or two cannibalisms over a period of weeks. It's not an issue in fish farming. Trust me, it's not going to affect your profits. We're after growing well. We are really after growing for profits. But to grow for profits, we must grow well. So we're after growing well and making profits. Okay, so a few cannibalism here and there will not affect, but you must reduce it to the barest minimum. If you don't reduce it to the barest minimum, it will hit into your profit. But guess what? The best way to invite cannibalism is to overcrowd your pond. Even though many farmers know this, many farmers are still overcrowding their ponds. So what I'll do, meanwhile, I mentioned that I have a gift. Everyone on this live, I have a gift for them. I have a gift for them that I'm going to give you very soon. If you are just joining us, let's know in the chat. If you are just joining us, let know in the chat. We are facing and dealing with on farm real life problem. This is a fish farming live support. Is a live support for fish farming. So you have any issue or you have anything you had faced that you didn't understand or you have any concern, it doesn't have to be the everyday order of the thing that people talk about. Once is a thing on the farm, let's talk about it, let's deal with it, let's share our experiences and let's deal with it. That's what this session is for, really. So we have talked about um slow growth, because there are issues of slow growth. It is common. This is very common with many farms. We have dealt with it. We mentioned one thing that affects it a lot: giving feed versus feeding fish. You see, that is that some people they give the fish a lesser feed than they require, and one of the way to deal with this, I mentioned, is to feed them according to their response. Another person asked a question and they said, what is the greatest skill? I can't find that question right now, but they talked about the most underrated skill that a fish farmer needs to have if they must be profitable. If they must be profitable, what is the and I mentioned that skill is observation. I talked about a lot of things. If you are just joining us, check it out and check this video out again. I'm not going to take this video down, at least not immediately, and I may not take it down at all. So, but then do well to, if you find this video, do well to go back to it and then listen. There are very deep secrets and deep realities that I have shared in this video, and I will still share. I have promised that I'm going to be real in this video, and you will find value and deep secrets and realities that will turn around your fish farming business for good. Okay, yeah, I have a question again. This person says, if you had limited capital today, would you still go into catfish farming? Please explain in details. You know what makes this question interesting? I mean, what made me really laugh is the last part of it. Please explain in details. To be honest with you, anyone that would answer that question and do justice to it will explain in details. If you can't explain the answer to this question in details, I think that you would really not have done justice to it, because it will get controversial. That's why whenever I want to explain something sometime, you will notice that I take my time. Sometimes I don't mind, if it takes some time for me to really express that line of thought, because there are a lot of things that are wrong on the streets of social media as it pertains to fish farming. And if we don't complete the line of thought, people may get half-baked information. And to be honest with you, any value, any information I'm bringing out on this channel, I've decided that I won't be bringing out any half-baked information. That is not the true reality of what should be. The true reality is that people should not get half information. You are not supposed to have good information on feeding and not understand water quality. I'm saying that a good fish farmer must be a wise master builder. Yes, you must be a wise master builder. You must understand feeding well. You must understand market access well. You must understand water quality well. You must understand your fish health well. You must understand observation well. And you must grow in your skill and have good experience well. You must know how to do budgeting well. You must keep record well. And all of these things, I'm going to tell you the basis of them, the secrets of them. In fact, that's why I mentioned that I'll take down this video, but I'll think about it. I may not take down this video. But If you find it, do well to treat anything you find in this video as highly valuable. So back to the question. If you had limited capital today, this is so practical, really. And I'm going to personalize it, okay? Because that's what that person wants. Would I still go into catfish farming? Please explain in details. Now, the first thing that should, because you say I should explain in details, yes. The first thing that should determine what farming or what fish farming you want to go into, or any business anyone should even go to, there are things you need to look at. So for me, having the knowledge is one. Another one thing I want to look at, if it is catfish farming, is that is there market for it? That's the first things first. Remember that all of the things we are talking about is revolving about profitability. We want to make profits. I mean, one of the motive, let's be real. One of the motive that we are doing business, we want to make money, we want to earn a living. So I want to look that this fish species, is there a market for it? I love that this question is coming. I mean, if I was just to talk about things randomly, I probably wouldn't have ever mentioned this. And that's the beauty of, diversity, letting people bring perspective into things. The first thing I want to look at, if I had limited capital, to say I want to go into a business of fish farming. So having the knowledge, I want to go into fish farming. Will I go into fish farming? Would I still go into fish farming if I had limited capital? I may go, I may not go, but I know the answer. The answer is that I will go. But beyond telling you the answer, this person says, please explain in details. I'm looking at the market. So there are many other fish species in the country. So whatever the country you're watching from, so this person particularly, I know you're not from Nigeria. Yeah. I see your comment. David Oluwasegun says, thank you for enlightening. You're welcome. And I'm still going to buttress. I need you to treat everything as highly valuable. Keep them. These are not speculations or things we just found out in few production cycles. They are work of practical work, of research work. Yes, based on theory, but yes, based on practical realities, based on results that we have seen and recorded over time. Yes, I'm saying that there are fish species in your country that you will notice. So I know that this is a global platform, and then it's a global audience. I don't want to keep mentioning maybe a country or Nigeria alone. But take your country, for instance, you will see, and I'll still use Nigeria as a practical example. Take your country, for instance. There are some fish you will see that is the ones they are buying most. In Nigeria, for instance, catfish is not the only fish that people are buying. I mean, that's not what I mean to say. Catfish is not the only fish that you can raise and culture in Nigeria. Of course, catfish is not the only fish they are buying. That wasn't what I meant to say, but catfish is not the only fish. People are buying tilapia. People are buying other fishes too. But what I want to look at, if I had limited capital today, to say will I go into fish farming, is the market. Which one are they buying most? Or which one will I be able to sell whenever I have it on sale? If I do all other things being equal, if all other things are being equal, which species of fish can I farm and will I be able to sell? So what am I concentrating on? I'm concentrating on the market. I'm concentrating on the demand of the people. I'm not saying I want to raise tuna, because tuna, I love tuna. I mean, tuna is a very amazing fish if you have tasted it. But rearing tuna in the Nigerian space, I mean, it's not even feasible because it's a cold water species, you know. But beyond that, that's why I began by saying that there are many fish that you can culture in the environment of Nigeria. And this does not say that we should limit everything to catfish farming. No, that's not what I'm saying. In fact, we are diversifying. We are diversifying now. We are looking into doing and other species. We are already having other species of fish, pangasius. We have tilapia is doing so well in the market. There are other species, arowana, the slapwater fish. What do we call it again? Heterotis. We have a common name for it. I don't want to be doing scientific names because this is a practical and real life on farm case. So what am I saying? One of the things I will pay attention to is the markets. Another thing I will pay attention to, I mentioned jokingly, is knowledge. I will go back to that thing I mentioned. There is a phrase I mentioned. I said that in life, things answers to principle. Things answers to principle and laws. If you know the principle, you will get the results. If there is a if there is a result you are not yet getting, it's because you have not applied the knowledge it takes. And you can't apply the knowledge until you take the knowledge, until you get the knowledge. So you want to go. So this is for someone who wants to go into fish farming. You want to go into fish farming. Thank you for that question so very much. You want to go into fish farming, but you don't have the knowledge yet. It's fine, you can go into it, but you need to acquire the knowledge. Yes, and I need to be very factual here. This is a live support. This is a fish farming live support, and we need to be factual. You need to acquire the skill. And what does acquiring skill means? It doesn't mean you don't have to practice, but it means that if you will practice, you need to start small. Even if you have 10 billion to invest in that business, when you don't have knowledge, you start with a little amount of money, because in the process you will gain that knowledge and you will make certain mistakes. And why you want to make that mistake, you don't want to make it with your 10 billion. You want to make your mistake. You will see that while you make your mistake, you will see how much you need to scale. And one of the things you need to do is to follow true knowledge. I mean, the real ones. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of things out there. There are a lot of things out there on the social media space. There are lots of content. There are people who are just creating content. There are people who just want the views. You will see, and I don't have anybody in mind while saying this with all humility and sincerity of heart. I don't have anybody in mind, but truly there are some people who are just after the views. So what those people say may not really be the value. And you will see that here we are just after right information. The views are coming, but we are not after the views. We are after value. We are after profitability. Really, we are after helping people make profit in their farming business. Yes. So what am I saying? Knowledge. And one of these things, I also mentioned that there is a gift. There is a gift that I'm going to give every participant of this live. If you are just joining us, because I'm seeing that we're having other people join us. If you are just joining us, engage in the comments. Even if you've been here, engage in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. If you're getting value, yes, you should subscribe. But I need you to know, if you are just joining us, that we have been discussing on farm real life problems. Okay. And currently we are talking about, someone asked me, if I had limited capital today, would I still go into catfish farming? Yes, I would go into catfish farming, and that's express yes. But why? Not just will I go into. Why will I go into it? Because of the markets. I'm looking at the market. Personally, for me, I'm giving you details now because you see explaining details. Personally, for me, I see the markets in the processing parts. There are different sections. There is the feed production, there's fresh fish production, which there are markets everywhere around. But I love the markets in the processing. You know, Trust me, there's an amazing market in the fresh fish production. My reason may not be one. So we don't follow one person and follow the reason. We want that. So that's why there are many things you need to look at. For you, when you look at all of the things, what you need to do may be fresh fish production. For another person, what they need to do may be a combination of fresh fish and processed fish. For another person, what they need to do is focus on feed production, and they will milk out the money. But with the right knowledge. With the right knowledge. Okay, so one of the things I've emphasized on two things regarding that particular. I'm taking my time to answer that question because I don't want ambiguity. I don't want confusion. Yeah, I want us to really get it. The question is, if you had limited capital today, would you still go into fish farming? And I said yes. But I also said I do not want to stay only on uh why, only on my answer. I want to tell you the reasons. And what are the reasons? The reason is market. I want to look at the demand. I don't want to start farming a product that people are not buying, that will have issues selling. So I mentioned that's what led me to processing. One of the things is that I saw a rising demand for markets in processed catfish. So that's one of the reasons I'll go into it. So even if I produce fresh, I can smoke everything I process. And since value is added, what does it mean? It means more money. Do you remember that everything we are talking about is centered about profitability? I'm saying that if you are making profit in your farming business, you can make more profit. Yes, that's what we are talking about here. If you are making profits already, you can make more profits. You can make more profits. You can make more profits. Yes. So you should really concentrate on these things that I mentioned. What are the things you need to pay attention to that I've mentioned here regarding this question? If you have, whether you have limited capital or even if you have 10 billion. The first I mentioned is demand. What are the people wanting to buy? If you identify what they are wanting to buy more, then because you have limited capital, that's a place to go into. Yes, because even if you had less capital, listen to this. Yes, listen to this. Even if you had less capital or no capital, there are things you need to do if there is demand around that thing, around that product. So there is a demand about maybe fish farming or a particular chain of fish farming or catfish farming. Then you can supply, you can get the goods, supply, get the money, pay back. The reason you can only do this for a product that has a high demand. If the demand is not high, you can't do it. You can't do it for a product that has it. So you want to look at high demand. So in that case, knowledge is even secondary. That's why I mentioned market access first. What is and one of the things that we'll be doing, I will be, anyone who is interested, I'll be dropping a link in the description of this video. Anyone who joins, I'll be adding you to a community. So that's one of the benefits of having a community of people, because you get to share your produce, you get to market your produce. There are people who really need your produce. You're not just selling because you do not you're not selling because people do not know about that product. So when people begin to see, and one advantage of that is this a community that we have. It is called Your Fish Expert Live. It's not live. Your Fish Expert Support Community is a community of fish farmers like you and I, where we can share ideas, where we can talk about what really is affecting our businesses, where we can talk about what is happening on our farm. Yes, you can share your experience. You can advise someone. Someone can advise you. We can talk about things. Um, just like that, and learn and grow together. And of course, there will be sessions where we get to opportunities where we get to market our produce, and when we get to, you know, have space to showcase what we have, whether skill, whether service. You have a service in the aquaculture industry you are rendering. These are opportunities and things you can maximize. Okay. And if we have any questions, let's keep it coming, because I will want begin to round up. I don't want this live session to be too long. I would like us to begin to round up this session. So just in case you still have some questions or you need some more clarity in any of the things I've mentioned, I want your question to keep coming. Uh because we'll really begin um to round up this session right now. So if you have any question, and I mentioned a gift. So while your questions are coming in, let me quickly mention that in the description of this video, I will put a link. The gift I'm giving is my book. I'm giving my book to every participant um of this live session. So it is an ebook, and that ebook is on fish farmer hacks. Hacks as in HACKS. There are things that if you do, they are like shortcuts that somebody have. No, they are not shortcuts really, but because by experience, by exposure to work, some people have gone through this thing and show you that if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get this. Yes. Yes, someone says mind delving observation. Mind delving deeper into observation. Oh, you want me to deep into observation? Okay, I would really before the um end of this session, and I'll do that briefly so that I want this session to end quickly. All right, so I was talking about the gift I have for every participant. If you just go to the description of this video, and you will see my direct line there, or you will also see a link to the support community. It's called Your Fish Expert Support Community. If you go through that group, or you message me directly, should message me directly so we build a relationship from there. If you message me, I'll send you that book directly. If you come to that group directly, you get that ebook directly too. It is Exceptional Fish Farming Secrets and Farmer Hacks. That's the title of that ebook. In that ebook, I carefully give exceptional fish farming tools, fish farming secrets that if you play by them, you remember I talked about knowledge and applying them. If you apply by the knowledge in that ebook, believe me, your fish farming business, your fish farming career will never remain the same again. And when I say remain the same, it's not in a negative way. It will skyrocket, and you will begin to see good profits. You begin to see visible profits, visible progress in your fish farming career, in your aquaculture business. And you see, to tell you the truth, many of the secrets I have revealed today is in my book. I have a book titled Feeding Errors That Slow Down Your Fish Growth. Many of the things I've said today, in fact, to be sincere with you, I explained even in more details in that book. Feeding Errors That Slow Down Your Fish Growth. This Many farmers have bought this book, and the reviews, there have been many reviews here and there of if you've seen a number of my videos, you would have seen the reviews on the screen. There are reviews there about how it has begun to turn their business around. You don't want to miss that book for anything. If you are a practicing fish farmer, not only practicing farmer, you are a student, it will help you a lot because it relates with a lot of courses that you are doing right now. You are a fresh graduate, you are a beginner in fish farming, you need that book so much. You are an investor in fish farming, you need to understand the business you are investing in. or that you want to invest in. If you are thinking anything about fish farming, you need to get that book. It's available in two versions. You can get the ebook. You can get the ebook and download it instantly on your device, maybe on your phone, on your PC, on your iPad. It's an instant access. The link to download it is in the description of this video. You can also get the hard copy. I have a copy of the hard copy. You see, these are some copies of the book. So this book, they are massive. So this book will, to get the hard copy, also reach me through the direct link, my direct WhatsApp line. It's in the description of this video too. You can get it from that. And I've told you how to get the gifts for participating in this live session. Message me directly, I'll give you that book. And I would not want to take any other question, but I'll delve deeper into observation, and from there we will round up. But I want you, I don't want you to go yet, because I would really want to say some important things about observation. But one thing I want you to do is, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to hit the like button, and I want you to share this video to other farmers. If you know any fish farmer or anyone, you are doing them a lot of help if you share this video to them. So, to talk about observation, the reason everything centers around observation is because, now let's give real scenario. The only way to know if your fish are sick is when you observe them. And there is a statement I usually make that in the next 2 minutes we'll be rounding up this session. There's a phrase I always make, that your fish will always communicate to you. But a farmer who is not listening will not hear. So how do you listen? You observe, you watch them. And what are you watching? What I'm giving you is key. You watch their movements, you watch their patterns, you watch the changes in your water. Is your water changing? Is there a color change? Is your fish swimming? Is there a difference between how they were swimming naturally and how they are swimming now? And one of the basic things to pay attention to is that these fish, this is how they naturally, usually respond to feeding. But now they are not responding to feeding that way. What is going on? That is how you begin to observe. And to cut the long story short, in that free gifts that I'm giving you, I told you how to observe. I've showed you observing that. That's why I'm saying it's an invaluable gift. If you take it serious and apply the principle in it, you'll begin to master observations. Also, there are videos on my channel that talks about observations. There is my book. You should buy that book on feeding errors. You can get it on seller. You can get the hard copy too, if you really need to understand everything about observation. I want to thank everyone who has attended this live session. This is a very amazing one, and I need to tell you that this will be recurring every Sunday. This won't be the only live session that we'll be having. I like the questions, how the questions are coming. I like the vibe, and I need to let you know that every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time, we'll be having this session. Yes, we'll be having this live session. So I want to encourage everyone, even without a reminder, set an alarm. Yes, set an alarm and join us 6 p.m. West African time every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time every Sunday. You will be really amazed by how your life and your farming business will turn around in the next few months if you begin to apply these principles. Let's walk this journey together. Let's grow together. Thank you for coming today. See you next week, Sunday on this live session on fish farming live support, question and answers with your fish experts. Bring your questions next week. Bring your practical questions and see you. Thank you for coming. Let's have your emojis and your charts. Let's have the emojis. I'm seeing more people join again. Do you want us to do you if you have meanwhile, if you have more questions, I'm ready to take more questions again. Okay, if you have more questions, I'm not in a hurry. I have a lot to say, so if you have more questions, bring it on. Okay, I know I'm saying I want to leave, but if you don't want to leave, I don't have where I'm going. Okay, so but I need to know how. Tell me if you have learned something in this session today. Let me know if you have learned something today. If let me know what you have learned, and we will be ending the session very soon. If I'm not having, yeah, good. Okay, I'm having the emojis coming in right now. Yes, I'm having the emojis coming in. Let's know one or two things that you have before we end the session. Let's hear one or two things that you have learned, or one or two things that you need clarity on. I'm really willing. Remember, I mentioned that one thing about the information in fish farming is that it's porous out there. So I've made a promise to myself not to give half-baked information. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I won't give half-baked information. I want to make sure that there is no half truths, because there are many people that are saying some truths, but they are taking down another truth to lift up the truth they are saying. Some people are even saying wrong things, and some people are taking up wrong things to, you know, lift down the true things. So, but this is a balanced thing you'll be getting from here. That's one thing you'll be getting from this support community, is you'll be getting a balanced system, a balanced support system. And like I mentioned, this what you'll be getting here is real life support system on farm. Yes, observation is key in fish farming. Thank you so much. Observation is key in fish farming. Observation is key in fish farming. At this point, I would want us to end this session so we can prepare and come again next week. Please come with your real life scenario questions or anything that bothers you, anything you need clarity on. And at this point, we'll have to end this session. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for coming. Can you um bring your emojis out to communicate? Bring out your best emojis again as we end this live session. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. So we have come to the end of this session.